The Metro aircraft is easily supported during ground operations. Many of the Metro features have been designed to aid in ground operations. A tall horizontal stabilizer and high opening cargo door allow ground vehicles to be moved close for loading and unloading. Two separate doors allow simultaneous cargo and passenger loading and unloading. And the Metro is designed for fast turnarounds through easy servicing. This program has been prepared to help you acquaint yourself with the Metro features that will be relevant to your job. We'll start with fillers. The fuel fillers are located on each wing, about midway out from the nacelle. Some airlines fuel only one side and transfer fuel on the way out, while other airlines fuel through both wings. An important consideration is to not let the fuel nozzle or hose damage the wing de-ice boot or wing skin in front of the filler. Oil fillers are accessed through filler doors in each cowling. A sight gauge on the side of the tank allows checking of the oil level without removing the filler cap. There is also a sight gauge for the hydraulic system located on the outboard side of the left-hand nacelle. It is normal for a small air bubble to be present in the upper half of the sight gauge. If fluid must be added, it can be accomplished through either a hydraulic cart or through the hydraulic filler cap. AWI fluid is filled through a cap located on the right-hand side of the nose, forward of the baggage compartment door. A sight gauge is located inside the door, and there is an indicator in the cockpit. When servicing the AWI, be careful not to damage the SAS vane, which is near the filler. As a ground crew member, you will not usually add oil or hydraulic fluid except on the direction of a mechanic or flight crew member. If either the oil or hydraulic fluid is found to be significantly low, it probably indicates a leak that must be corrected. And if you were to replenish any of the fluids used on the aircraft, it is absolutely essential to aircraft safety that you use the correct fluid. There are several types of fuel, at least 3 types of hydraulic fluid, and many different AWI mixtures used in aviation. In each case, there is only one that is correct for use in the Metro. Make absolutely sure you have the right one before adding any fluids to the aircraft. The landing gear are another area ground crew members will sometimes be concerned with. The condition of the wheels and tires is of course of vital importance to the safety of the aircraft. Fluid leakage from the strut must be within limits, or corrective action must be taken before further flight. In general, a mechanic must make this determination. Almost any fluid leaking around the brake is cause for further action. Wheels and tires must also be checked carefully, especially for tire skid-outs. Release latches are provided for each main gear door to allow inspection of the wheel well. Normally, ground crew members will not be required to perform such functions, but if you must open one or both of the doors, make sure you properly close and latch them back. Doors are an important part of ground crew operations. The Metro contains 4 primary doors: the passenger door, cargo door, and nose baggage compartment doors. The passenger and cargo doors each contain inflatable rubber seals used to prevent the leakage of pressurization in flight. Take care that nothing cuts or damages these seals. Both the passenger and cargo doors should be supported during their operation. The passenger door should be let down during opening by either a ground crew member supporting the door from the outside or a crew member inside the aircraft supporting it by the assist chains. During close, care should be taken that the assist chains do not foul on surrounding structure, and that the door is fully in the fuselage opening before attempting to rotate the handle. The cargo door should be supported during operation as well. When opening the door, hold onto the lanyard attached to the door and slow its movement as the door reaches near full open. On closing, use the lanyard to pull the door down until you can catch it with your hand, stow the lanyard, and then slowly lower it closed. Again, make sure it is fully in the door opening before attempting to move the handle to the latched position. Even with a Metro's large, easily loadable cargo compartment, bags should still be arranged and placed carefully, and usually tied down. Some aircraft configurations provide nets to secure cargo and bags as well. Load the aircraft in accordance with the instructions set forth by your airline. The nose baggage compartment may be used for additional baggage or storage of crew member items. There are 2 latches for each door. Make sure both are securely closed. On most aircraft, there is also a rain curtain that is secured through a zipper. Remember to close this curtain back before closing the baggage door. There are several external indicators installed on the aircraft. Blowout plugs are provided for bottled gases. There is a visible gauge on the right side of each nacelle for the fire extinguisher bottle, and a green plug installed on the right-hand aft side of the fuselage for the oxygen bottle. If you notice any of the indicators missing, bring it to the immediate attention of a crew member or mechanic. Supplying electrical power to the Metro during ground operations is accomplished through a ground power unit. This unit is connected to the GPU receptacle, which is either on the right-hand side of the right nacelle or in the right-hand underwing fairing, depending upon the serial number of the aircraft. Make sure the GPU is of the proper voltage, type, and polarity for the Metro. Generally, this will not be a problem, as your airline will have purchased the proper type of equipment. Even though a GPU is connected, no power will actually be applied to the aircraft until the battery switches are turned on. In general, you will usually not apply power to the aircraft until someone from your airline has instructed you in the proper procedure. We will cover some procedures that are relevant. The battery switches are located on the pilot's forward switch panel, in the area behind the control column. These switches must be moved to the on position to apply power to the aircraft. Notice the engine start and stop buttons nearby. Anytime power is applied to the aircraft, depressing one of the start buttons will cause propeller rotation to begin. This could injure a ground crew member in the area of the propeller. Never, even in jest, push any of these buttons. On the same switch panel are the controls for most of the external lights on the aircraft. In general, most of these lights should be turned off during ground operations, unless necessary by airline or airport requirements. On the co-pilot switch panel are the switches you may be concerned with. Here are the aisle and overhead light switches. When servicing the aircraft at night, the interior lighting may be required. There are also lights in both the nose baggage compartment and the aft cargo compartment. Make sure these lights are turned off before closing these areas. The front and aft baggage compartment lights and cabin entrance lights work without turning the batteries on. Although the lights extinguish automatically after a certain amount of time, it is essential that the use of the lights be minimized, since they are powered by the aircraft batteries. If they are inadvertently left on, they can run the batteries down, so make sure and turn them off. During most ground operations, if power is required on the aircraft, a GPU will be connected. Sometimes, due to unavailability, ground operations and engine starts must be accomplished using the aircraft's batteries. In these cases, care must be taken that the batteries are not depleted to the point of not having enough power left for starting. Your airline will have established procedures to conserve battery power during these types of operations. Several components on the aircraft should be noted from a safety aspect. The SAS vane, located on the right-hand side of the nose compartment, is an important aircraft safety component that can be easily damaged. You should never hit or bump this component or use it to hang things. Additionally, immediately after landing, the vane may be very hot, so do not touch it. The pitot tubes and engine oil cooler inlet lips may also be very hot immediately after landing, so it is a good idea not to touch them either. Towing the aircraft is usually only accomplished by qualified and trained personnel. Of special importance are the tow turn limits marked on the nose gear. Exceeding these limits can result in damage to the nose gear centering mechanism. It is also a good idea to check that the nose gear steering switch was in the off position when the batteries were turned off. In some cases, damage to the nose wheel steering actuator has resulted during towing operations when the steering switch was left in the on position during shutdown. After landing, the aircraft will usually need to be chocked. Most airlines do not want to set the parking brake. And of course, any carts or wheel devices used around the aircraft should also be chocked. When parked, the gust lock should usually be applied. The control for this unit is located immediately between the power levers. The power levers must be aft for the gust lock to be able to be engaged. After it is engaged, move the control wheel and rudder pedals to the neutral position to engage the locks. When parking the aircraft overnight, covers are often installed over sensitive openings. These include the engine inlets, engine exhausts, pitot tube openings, and oil cooler scoop inlets. Make sure these covers are removed before beginning aircraft operations.